nonfiction fiction goes to David Frick's translation of 1,000 Peaceful Cities by Yesha Pelsh. Olivia Sears will accept on his behalf. David Frick would have loved to be here. He's 10 days in Turkey meeting with young scholars from the history department at the National University of Kiev, where he will then visit them again in May. They're doing a joint project together. He says, "I'm sorry I could not be with you today. My scholarship focuses mostly on the religious, social, and cultural history of the early modern Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Jerzy Pilch's was 1,000 Peaceful Cities was my first attempt at literary translation. I did it because I wanted to see whether I could, and because I liked the novel so much and wanted to be able to read it with my students. I had such a good time doing it, I have now decided to make translation a part of my job description. Again, my apologies that I could not be with you today. Thank you so much for the award. It is so nice to get the recognition." I also want to say, just as a promoter of translation myself, we're very happy that we have recruited this Polish scholar into the world of translation, because he's just turned in another book by this author to the same publisher, and he's been hired by the Polish Chopin Institute to translate all of Chopin's letters from Polish, because Chopin wrote in French and Polish. So it's really wonderful that he has joined the ranks of the translators. I'm going to read from early on in the translation, and it's in the voice of a narrator who's a young boy, and he's sitting with his drunken father and his father's very drunken best friend, and he likes to write down everything that they say because he finds them really fascinating. So this is the voice of the father's best friend. "From birth, Chief, I have lived my life under constant pressure for change. For as long as I can remember, I have promised myself that tomorrow will be different from yesterday, next week different from the past. For as long as I can remember, my today is always supposed to be a caesura between the old and the new life. For as long as I can remember, I've been trying every day to change something. And now, when an unavoidable change is approaching, when my presence will quickly change into my absence, I intend to do something for the world, as long as I'm still here, something which, I won't hide the fact, will relieve the monotony of the final act of my existence on this vale of tears with respect to both form and content." "What exactly will you do, Mr. Traba?" "Well, what can you do when nothing is to be done? When it's clear that I won't build a house, I won't establish a family, I won't raise a child, I won't put my opinions in order and write them down, I won't render the proper respect to my forebears, and I won't even give up my addictions? What can you do when a terrible lack, a void, a road drowning in Asiatic grasses, a precipitous bank, nothingness, and nausea suddenly declare themselves? What remains when nothing remains? Kill somebody, that remains." Father impatiently shrugged it off. "A pathetic joke, Mr. Traba, and if it isn't a joke, then you really must be suffering significant losses in the lateral occipital lobes." But Mr. Traba had plunged wholeheartedly into the inexorable logic of his own deduction. "Kill somebody, that remains. Kill somebody whose killing will be for the good of mankind. Who? Obviously one of the great tyrants of mankind. As of today, the situation with the great tyrants of mankind looks as follows. Adolf Hitler, passé. Joseph Stalin, passé. Who remains? There remains, irrefutably, Chairman Mao Zedong." Thank you very much.